do have game plans. Like, let's take, for example, the Forsen's Warrior game, right? That was able to surprise us a little bit. So as much as this series might start, and we might see plays as the Priest mirror has begun, looks like, we might see plays that we don't understand. These guys, it seems like they have experience playing decks more and more. And I think practice is starting to become more of an issue. A lot of the pros in the past, it felt like the decks played themselves. Token Druid made sense. Miracle Rogue made sense. And as a result, it felt like pros were slacking a little bit, if I have to kind of be a little honest. But now that Naxxramas is out, you have to kind of have a more in-depth tune to how your deck operates and how you can use these roadmaps to win.
It definitely makes a difference. I think I'm trying to figure out a way to put it eloquently, but I think at the end of the day, people just make sequencing errors, and it's just something that's involved in card games, and there's not really always a way to avoid it. When you've practiced enough, sometimes you see ways. So sometimes you see things a certain way, and you're so confident in your ability, again, because you've practiced it so much. You've done it right so many times that when your brain has kind of decided that this is the way to do it, you don't question it, you just kind of follow through. Mm-hmm. So it could lead to some minor errors, and that's one of the reasons why I always remind people, no matter how good you are, just slow down. Because almost every single time you make a mistake, it's not because you don't know how to play or you didn't know what to do in this scenario, it's just because you didn't take the time to think long enough. And if you just take the time to think long enough, you usually can overcome that sort of sequence error.
Already an interesting juncture of, Trump was hesitating to see whether or not he could use his Northshire Cleric to draw cards in response to his opponents, but pushing the Dark Cultist to deny your opponent's draw seems a little bit of a better position, because sometimes as much as you want to make yourself in a good spot, I think putting your opponent in an awkward spot also works, which is exactly what has been created. Like, he forces Amaz to have Power Word Shield, or else his Northshire Cleric's dead.
Yeah, I think the Dark Cultist is way better here than playing the Northshire Cleric. I think Northshire Cleric would have been... It doesn't accomplish anything. It's just going to... Both of you guys are now going to trade cards back and forth. That's not what you want to do. You actually want to develop an advantage. Mm-hmm. It makes a lot more sense, I think, to play it this way.
And I always like preceding the Northshire Cleric with a minion that has high enough health to be able to heal. Because now if he puts like a Northshire Cleric and heals... whether he uses Circle of Healing or Power Word Shield, he has the ability to kind of continue to recover from that point.
Right.
Now, what do you think is a bigger threat here? The Pyromancer or the Northshire Cleric?
That is a good question.
Because they both are threatening in its own way. One keeps resetting the board. The other one draws and gets the advantage in the mirror by having card advantage.
I imagine it's the Pyromancer. If he's using Power Word Shield first, it means he wants to evaluate.
Okay. My fate is so he's going to take out the Northshire Cleric.
This is a really tough spot for Amaz to really combat. Like, he'd have to have something like... I guess he has to have almost quite literally Shadow Word Pain.
How about Death Lord?
Yeah. It's alright, but... I think this board position is about to get quickly out of control in Trump's favor.
Well, we'll see. Trump is still sitting on a dead draw at the moment, or dead turn.
Yep.
But he can draw on something better.
In this the priest on priest matchups, we've seen Amaz start with some really poor hands.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's basically game over.
Well, hold on. I mean, there's always the case where Amaz can kind of pull it back, but I think with this kind of card deficit that he's suffering, not to mention the board that his opponent has, he has no way to kill it in foreseeable turns. It's going to be difficult, but Priest still has a little bit hard time tuning to things like the Sludge Belcher itself. So maybe Trump gets slowed down enough by some of these cards, and they have low impact. Who knows?
This is again, I don't want to call things too early, but just look at this. Look at these hands in this board position. What does Amaz even draw to start combating this?
If it were everything stacks cumulative, right? you want to kill off a high health creature like there's a 4-attack minions. You can't do anything to that. You want to kill off like Dark Cultist, but it just stacks health. And you don't have enough damage to kill off the Northshire Cleric, which heals and draws cards anyways. It's like this holy triumvirate of protection that or that Amaz can't do anything about. Okay, Sludge Belcher is available to him at the moment, which seems like his best course of action. Harrison Jones doesn't have anything to do once again. Quite unfortunate for Amaz because it feels like Harrison hasn't gotten anything ever in this entire tournament yet. And yet there's so many weapon classes being played.
Right, that was what I was touching on, is when every time he's been playing this mirror so far, his hand's just been like Shadow or Death Harrison for the whole game. While his opponents have circles and dark cultists, and they scale really well.
It's like the anti-Tyrion hand that Amaz has, but that's about it.
Trump's got a lot of plays here, by the way. He's going to take his time and make sure he makes the right one.
My fate is sealed.
So it looks like he's found it to me.
See what he draws off the Death Lord? A Sludge Belcher. Wow, how about two? Do you feel... Let's see, how many cards would he draw, by the way, if he healed, too? Like, say he used Holy Nova or Circle of Healing. He'd draw 3. He's at 7 cards, so that'd put him at a max of 10. But then his opponent can make him overdraw by healing. So as much as you might feel tempted to use Circle of Healing and draw more cards, you could actually start burning if Amaz is clever enough.
I think Sludge Belcher is more than fine.
Okay.
Yeah, does he even need to circle here? I mean, I guess it's fine. It's not really. There's not really any sufferable consequences of this kinds of board position. It's just. Well, there's something, I guess. Cabal Shadow Priest can. I think there's just too much pressure on the board for him to have to deal with, though.
I don't think Amaz plays anything like Shadow Madness either, right? So that way he can like take the Sludge Belches of the opponent. No, that was Forsen that we were watching. Amaz versus Forsen.
14 power on board from Trump right now.
And the bad news is that the best is yet to come for Trump. He's got Ragnaros, he's got Mind Control, he's got Sylvanas. So he's got plenty of ways to press the thumb even deeper.
He's got a second Northshire. I think he's drawn enough cards this game, though.
Yeah.
What else could he possibly need to draw?
Must consider.
I don't know, maybe a Holy Fire in case for this like 4 or 5, but that's about it. Meanwhile, let's see what he can do here to clear the board, because that's pretty much pre-subjective most of the time. You know, in that situation, you know, the Shaman feels a lot similar, where you're just trying to dictate the board position in the mirror all the time in the Shaman versus Shaman. Priest versus Priest is very much the same. Whatever sticks on board gets amplified a lot by the hero power. So Trump wants to try to do his best to pick apart what Amaz has at the moment.
Excuse me. Quickly.
I like this approach.
Yeah, just kind of distribute out the health. You can even utilize
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to kill this Northshire before you can really make any moves with Holy Nova. So it makes a lot of sense to do it this way and then just play Sylvanas and go forward. There's a lot of Holy Nova plays he can make when he gives his opponent a lot of cards. Remember, because he has the Northshire out. Wow, and then Amaz draws possibly the worst card in his deck right now.
Yeah, he still has an opportunity to clean up a little bit with Powered Shield. Maybe he has another card that can top deck. Holy Fire allows him to answer this injured Blade Master. So there you go. There's something, a small little win for Amaz. Or does he want to get another Cabal Shadow Priest? No, instead he's hovering over the Northshire Cleric. He wants to draw cards and shoot right back in. Okay. Well, I mean, he's the one who understands Priest probably the best out of all these people because of how many games he's brought out.
He needs to find Alkanite Circle combo, I think, which is why he's drawing cards.
He's also going for Shadow Word Death.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully it steals one of his Northshire Clerics, and it does. Nice. It takes the weakest one, too. So a good win for Amaz, and he's won that Sylvanas RNG battle. Cairn off the top for Trump, by the way.
It's a big uphill battle he's fighting also.
Yeah.
There's just so much power on the board here. Honestly, if you're Trump, I think you just I think you suicide this Northshire Cleric.
Yeah, I think it's a complete valid point. You don't want to overdraw and start even fatiguing by any off chance.
I mean, he's just got every card he needs in his hand. He's got Karen, he's got Ragnaros, he's got Mind Control, he's got Shadow or Death. He has Holy Nova, even has Wild Power and Answers if he needs them.
My fate is sealed.
I just don't see it being very relevant. Is he going to continue to draw cards, though?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe the arena player inside of him really wants to, but I think this is the best course of action.
Good call. Very good call. This is going to be a Holy Nova turn. Oh, maybe it's not going to be a Holy Nova turn. What the heck? Wait, what?
Did he overkill the Northshire Cleric by a little?
Oh, so when he healed his guys, he wouldn't draw his cards. Duh.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. Had me confused there for a little bit because I was like, I think that makes sense. And then all of a sudden, yeah, able to do that. So Trump continues to get the card advantage battle. Amaz is still sitting in a similar position as he did before, where there's a big board, nothing to do with it. He's starting to bleed out health more. And now Deathlord comes out, yet another liability.
Yep.
Let's see.
I think this is no concern to Trump, really. I think you have multiple ways to apply pressure this turn. I mean, I think even an 8-mana Shadow or Death, frankly, isn't that bad here.
I kind of want to develop Karen too, though, because Karen provides problems past this turn.
Before you develop, do you want to see what you get off the Death Lord?
That is also true. I think you always want to see what you get off Death Lord, because that might change the play.
My fate is sealed.
I mean, say he gets Alchemist Soul Priest on the field, then he just hero powers the Lotheb, and then you can drop Karen, can't you?
Say he hits a Deathwing.
No. Oh, well, here you go.
Look at that.
And then now you have the opportunity to do whatever you want. Drop Karen. I think it's a really nice play here. In fact, I feel like this would be the optimal way to drop Karen if I ever had to choose one for this turn.
You're like a prophet.
You know, well, when you predict 1,000 things, you're bound to be right once.
You should
that's
see me
what
try
Fox
to.
News
You should
does,
try me.
right?
You should see me try to predict what players are going to do.
All right, Amaz gets a Wild Pyromancer. It could be one of the keys to start clearing the board a little bit, but still needs to do a lot of reconnaissance before he's able to get anywhere close to a board clear. Needs to kind of soften up this Karen a little bit, but he's just going to play defensive. Trump, meanwhile, is just continue to take this slow. I think he's also very aware of the circle of healing combos that he knows Amaz can pull off. So he's also making sure he doesn't overextend into the board.
Yep.
Do you feel like eventually doing something like dropping Ragnaros is ever gonna be like earlier than just as a final remorse? Because he's waited a long time to do this, and I felt like this is the best play. But if, for a while he was saving it to make sure he timed it correctly.
Yeah, it seemed like it was fine last turn, but he just had better plays. And this turn, he just doesn't have better plays than Ragnaros. Like your opponent, just there's just no way they're gonna ring this game. Frankly, is from my perspective anyway, it's been over for a very long time, and it's been a matter of going through the motions. Amaz needed to have an Alchemized Circle combo for a long time, and he just didn't have it. So Amaz has done a great job trying to clear the board here, but at the end of the day, it's just not enough.
Yeah,
and Ragnaros proves too much. And this is a spot where like it's Trump played this game fantastic, by the way, and I think this is a matter of
and pinpointing the Northshire Cleric as that main anchor point. That's why in the control mirrors you absolutely do not want to let your opponent get ahead of you in control. That's why you see guys even executing Acolyte Pain in Warrior vs. Warrior, because they're that desperate to not allow their opponent to get ahead of them like that. Amaz is going to go straight to his Paladin deck. It worked well for him when he had to beat Forsen with it, and it should be functioning, especially if you pick up nice cards like Karen and Equality. Two of the best tools to fight against what Priest can do.
Yep. Northshire Cleric pick up early, but this is one of those. This is one of those hands where I think that you can consider holding it, and really looking forward to your to some of your plays. I like playing it still because it threatens your opponent's 0 power straight away. Oh, he does have Shadow Menace too.
Okay. I mean, Shadow Menace makes sense, granted, with how many death rattles and low-cost minions there are. Whether it's Harvest Golems, Haunted Creepers. If you're playing Hunter, you can grab the web spinners and whatnot.
Yep.
Leox, even in tight situations when you have a field full board.
I like playing the Wild Pyromancer here, also. Just to start getting the damage rolling.
Reporting for duty.
Wow. Amaz is...
Fearless.
Yeah.
Whoa, and then Circle of Healing with Injured Blade Master.
He's got the Wild Pyro out, though, so it is going to deal an extra point of damage. I still think it's
But you get
probably
to draw
too
an
good to
extra
pass it
card,
there.
though.
Yep.
I must consider.
Almost feels too good to pass up. But, Trump, he follows what you've been saying the entire time. He's going to take his time just to think it through. In fact, for better or for worse, Trump's known to be a very slow player. People kind of immediately targeted him when Blizzard patched in the timer to the game for customs.
Oh my gosh. He's going to be able to draw 3 more cards.
Circle of Healing #2, not bad. Is
You
it
gotta draw
important to
3
keep
cards
Circle
here.
of Healing, though, for as an AoE clear with Alkanai Soul Priest?
I find it really hard to not draw 3 cards here. Yeah, that's just too much. That's just too good. Oh my gosh.
More creatures to back it up.
It's so many cards, and Trump just drew 5 cards.
Okay, Amaz, back over to him. I think he was probably being really patient, trying to wait for something like a coin into some of his 6 drops, like Coin, Karen, and then Sunwalker, and then kind of curve out naturally. But this Injured Blade Master Circle of Healing shenanigans has given Trump a very intimidating board.
And hand.
And hand. Where do you even begin here? Do you start developing other tools so you can start killing minions? He hovered over Elder Peacekeeper. But that might just get completely shut down again if he has like Holy Smite and then you're just pressing for damage. Paladin needs these early turns to be a little bit more on the quieter side. They can't have it so loud. They need to get their sleep and hibernate for the late stages of the game.
Yeah, your opponent drawing 5 cards on turn 3 is certainly not where... certainly not how you want the game to start. And getting 8 power on the board at the same time. 2 very bad things to be happening if you're in Paladin's spot.
Must move quickly.
He needs this coin, by the way. He needs coin for turn 5 so he can play a 5-drop, or so he can play a 6-drop on turn 5. But I don't think he can afford to hold it, so it's just the price he's going to have to pay. Look at this. He's going to give up even more cards so he can try to start stabilizing the board.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't feel great, but Amaz does what he has to do to cut his losses and move on. Trump, meanwhile, picks up more late game, which he's fine with as the game develops, but because he still has things in his hand like Dark Cultist and Zombie Chow. And just for point of reference, if he just wasn't able to completely go off, say, for example, he drew Mind Control and not his Injured Blade Master for Circle of Healing combos, he'd be drawing Zombie Chow off the top of his deck to kind of give like a point of reference of how deep he is because of what just happened.
Right away.
Gosh. This is just so much pressure. This game might be going on a little bit longer than I anticipated. And a lot of it's largely in part because of that Zombie Chow. I'm not sure
Yeah, gives
that
him
was...
some of the health.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was...
Okay. Well,
I'm not
Amaz
sure
switches
that's
over number
Epidemic.
2, and he can picks up a lot of good value there.
Yeah, the Zombie Chow, it's like extending your opponent's life in this position. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. It is a little bit more difficult, though, because Zombie Chow usually combines with, like, Alkanai Soul Priest plays. But he did have an Alkanai in hand. So now this second Zombie Chow, I presume, to be a good board position so you can leverage that Death Rattle and be able to kind of trickle your opponent, because If you just always throw out Zombie Chow, especially against a board clear class with equality like Paladin, you're always asking for trouble.
Well, he's got Dark Cultist as well.
Right away.
Now he's got 2 Dark Cultists.
Your turn to bleed. The damned stand ready.
Okay. Let's see what Amaz can do from here.
Quite a few plays. That humility, I imagine, is going to come into some pretty significant effect this game. I don't think here it will, but soon it will. 110 Injured Blade Master.
Just inner fire, Divine Spirit, inner fire for the win. Well, first you Power Word Shield and then Divine Spirit. Then you inner fire.
If he's got that combo, God bless him. Won ya! That's 10 hero powers you can take out with that Injured Blade Master.
Yeah, well, better get started, I guess. Start cranking it out.
Crank that Soldier Boy.
Amaz picks up Spellbreaker, which is another interesting inclusion, but very necessary considering how many death rattle and effects there are. And also, not to mention, there are cute plays you can do to silence your own equality minion. If, say, you had a really big one like Guardian of Kings and it gets equality, you can silence it.
You know what's kind of ironic is the fact that this Injured Blade Master can pick off every single hero power actually makes a really big impact on this game. We talk about how much the hero power makes a difference, and that's what gives Paladin an advantage, but Trump drew so many cards that once we got to this point, just the 110 is powerful enough to really make a difference.
And Trump's getting over the difficult hump of dealing with these 4 minion creatures, especially behind the Sludge Belcher wall. For now. Until Amaz does something like drop his Spellbreaker and try to push through. But even then, are you at a risk of tossing out something that can easily be dealt with? Also interesting to know, Spellbreaker does have 4 attacks, so that does, if you can go for a board impact clear effectively, Spellbreaker is also another threat just by its raw stats. So if you're in Maz's position, you want to get rid of that Akanai as soon as possible.
Is there any way to do it?
It's not an easy way to do it. Because if this Akanai is out, then the Sunwalker becomes way less empowered.
Well, the issue he's having is he needs to find a way to actually draw cards. I don't know how he scales the game in his favor right now. Trump's just drawn so much. Again, I mean, I keep mentioning it, but there's a certain point where you've drawn so many cards that you can almost overcome however bad any matchup is. Card advantage is a way to win a game.
Alright, well, he goes for Sungeon Steel Master and tries to go for that card draw like you mentioned. Trump can press through. He actually can even go for a very easy board clear. But how much is he extending to something like equality? All these things he's trying to weigh to make sure he doesn't get completely wiped under. But he's got so many good cards to follow it up. It's kind of difficult to say one is completely incorrect here.
Black Knight really feels like it's easy here, but there's a couple of pitfalls to using Black Knight. The first one is then you don't have a Black Knight for Tyrion or Sunwalker. The second one is, are you going to get a better Shadow Madness target this game? And I think the answer could be potentially no. This is a really interesting way to do it.
Yeah, to kill off the Bane and be able to draw
he's drawing more cards. Oh my god,
I like it.
This is a really good play.
It's very clever.
Yep. The point I was getting to is that Black Knight's probably not to play here, and that there are a lot of alternatives. And Trump almost immediately spotted an alternative that drew cards.
Very nice. And he's also at 9 cards too, so he won't even overdraw. This was masterfully done. Very impressive, and now Black Knight has an even better target.
Very well played from Trump this game.
Can he do it
This
again,
feels-
though, and find an alternative way? But I feel like this
Yeah.
is one of the best targets you can use Black Knight for.
I think this is a pretty clean Black Knight turn. He's at 30 health, too. What do you think of healing the 1-2 over the 3-1? Does it even matter here? Not much.
It matters if you want to cast spells for the following turn, and you want to use up all your mana without having to heal it. So I think it makes sense.
No reason to play Northshire. He's got plenty of cards. Northshire's likely not even a card that's in this game anymore. And Tyrion gets picked up, but it still is not going to be enough. Because again, Trump's just drawn so many cards. He has Shadow Word Death. He has Mind Control. He could death his own Sylvanas. He's just got every tool he needs to continue to fight this board position. How on earth can Amaz possibly get out of this scenario? I'm trying to think of cards he can draw, and I'm not seeing them.
Well, above everything else, he has a quality, right? You need to draw both the qualities and consecrations and let the board build up, but Trump's clever enough to not attack and extend into it. He's just trying to slowly poke him to death.
Right.
With toothpicks. It's not swords and axes that he's killing him with.
It's foam swords and foam axes he's killing him with.
He's boffing him. Or LARPing, I don't know exactly, whatever they use in those role-playing games.
Your turn to bleed.
I like the ability to just slow push though, and he's being extremely cautious with how he does this again, making sure to poke him. I think you want to do like between 5 to 8 damage, like somewhere around there, to threaten him enough for like a 3-turn kill, 2-3-turn kill. But then at the same time, you're not pushing out too many minions, so it makes sense. Karen is an excellent choice here.
Yeah.
Heal up. Why not? Injured Blade Master's giving you so much mileage. Just do it out of the respect. Priest has a good healthcare system. Showing off why. America could learn a lot from how Trump plays priests. Boom. Shots fired. This wasn't a politics show, but it just became one. Amaz is going to go for a humility play in his Guardian of Kings, but that's pretty much the only thing he can do. Tyrion, of course, feels very weak considering that he knows his opponent has Shadow Word Death, or even worse, Mind Control.
Trump's board is so adorable. Everyone's following the rules.
Is it? Say it with me on 3. Peace. 1, 2, 3. Peace.
Peace.
And love. I mean, it's a very Trump thing anyways, right? Trump's all about friendship and cookies and teddy bears. At least that's the impression I get when I watch the stream.
1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage.
See, everyone participates. Good job.
You
team.
take a
Same
damage
time next week.
And you take a damage, and you take a damage. Everyone takes 1 damage.
Well, actually, only one person's taking damage here.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, it's Amaz, and Amaz fanboys could not be more enraged by our commentary right now.
Just, I mean, what could Amaz have done to be in this game? Again, it's just Trump drew 5 cards on turn 3 and got 8 power with the minions on the board. That's not a situation you just come back from. This doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
Look,
he hasn't
got
even gone for a full board clear, and Trump still has 5 minions waiting to go.
He's just now cleared the board. Trump is going to have 9 cards in his hand, and one of them's Mind Control. Oh, yeah, just in case you didn't have enough. Yeah, I'm going to take your guy. I'm going to play more stuff. This is just going through the motions. And as much as Tyrion would love to have Uther put his faith in the light, it seems Trump has already put plenty of faith in it. Because this game is just... this is going to him. I literally think that Amaz could pick what Hearthstone cards he wants to draw for the rest of the game and still lose.
Well, you know, I don't know if that's actually true, but I think your analysis is spot on in that Amaz is completely powerless to do anything from this position.
Yep.
Trump, the only way I think Amaz had hope is if Trump just actually decked down and started taking fatigue and he can outlast him. But he's even within lethal range-ish if he like falls down to around like 10 to 12 health and then just might die like a holy fire. Amaz actually might be on a clock here. With emphasis on might with how slow Trump's playing. He's not even playing Zombie Chow. He's not even playing zombie chat. Doesn't want to extend the window whatsoever.
Well, good luck, my friend, but Tyrion is not fighting for you this game.
Tyrion's just gonna get mind controlled.
I want to be excited for
Unless
this game.
he's
But
just gonna pass. Unless he feels like he can't die, then he just passes.
I want to be excited for this game. I don't believe.
Well, okay. He has Tyrion. He is gonna use equality. I think that's his concede.
Yes.
If he does this.
Fantastic.
Oh, he's not conceding.
This game doesn't matter at all. He's equality. This is like a preemptive equality for the.
He's still not ending it. Trump missed lethal. Oh my god. He had Organized Soul Priest and Holy Smite.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to take Tyrion.
Yeah.
This is
But add
game
that
was-
to the body count, huh?
Yeah, basically, this game was complete domination.
A little aggressive last time and pull him out of a situation against Forsen in Game 5. Now we'll see whether or not he can use it to 3-0. I think Shaman is one of those decks that can 3-0. For sure. Especially if your opponent's playing a lot of things like the Druids and Warriors, and you're able to effectively take board control every single time.
Well, I mentioned that I've been playing a lot of Shaman lately, and this is one of the matchups that I have ironically struggled a lot with. Priest seems to have all the right tools to make sure that they can fight adequately against Shaman, and
True.
I don't think this game is really going to be much of an exception. Zombie Chow is exceptional at pulling removal spells. He's already got his Injured Playmaster Circle combo. Thought Steal is really good against Shaman because almost every card you take is valuable. Amaz, though, he has drawn 3 removal spells, which I think is going to be pretty key to this game. But the difference, I think, is going to be this Injured Blade Master and Circle combo. And then Dark Cultist also. This is a card I forgot to mention. Since this card has been added to the mix, I find myself actually just running out of removal spells when I'm playing against Shaman. So, once again, Trump has drawn a solid opening hand. I've been very impressed with his play throughout the course of not only the past couple of tournaments, but especially this one. He's just been so methodical and taking his time and developing a game plan where card advantage is quite literally the way that he is going to win. It's a win condition as far as he's concerned. He wants to just completely push his opponent out of the ability to do anything. And so Earthshock here, it's a little bit of an effect. Good, you dealt with his cultist, but this was a 2-for-1 at this point. Thought Seal, again, it's going to give him another +1 card. Injured Blade Master of Circle, it's a little bit of a negative effect, but that will start compounding at some point.
Yeah, especially since Trump has ways to kind of deal with boards very effectively. Holy Nova, not this Circle of Healing, but the next one. He's got Cabal Shadow Priest, Shadow Madness to deal with these small minions. Even the Thought Steal might get him something that he really needs. I don't really think Shaman has any cards that are always useless to Priest. So in a really dominant position, normally you want to have Hex for something like the Injured Blade Master combo and be able to value. Like, Shaman is supposed to pride itself off the early value it gets. Hex is supposed to hit something that costs way more. Earthshock is supposed to be able to offset the death rattle for 1 mana and kill something. And Amaz has been fighting 2-for-1 the opposite direction. Amaz is going to go for a Thought Steal, which, I mean, there's nothing else to do. Double Harvest Golem.
More value. Why not?
All right.
Yo, dog, I heard you like value.
Who better than the mayor of Value Town himself? Yikes. Well, Doomhammer is a win condition for Shaman, but it is a lot less effective against Priest when they have things like Sludge Belchers and heals.
Yeah, over time, Doomhammer does 16 damage, but part of the thing that's accounted for in this matchup is that Priest is just gonna heal over time as well. It's another one of those things that's like it compounds in Priest's favor if you wait long enough. He doesn't even have to heal himself. He's 28 life. He's more than comfortable. Keep this Injured Blade Master at a high life total and let it begin to make up the value that it lost having to invest the circle in it.
I'm actually just really happy Trump's been able to play well and demonstrate his skill, because a lot of people criticize him for being an arena player, and now he's just being able to show proficiency with Priest of all classes, right? That's a class that people peg for a long time as not having the best, but he's able to play at its core value very effectively as he's now taking the board for a Shaman. Amaz is in a tough spot. how does he kind of fight back from here? He's got really important cards like Novish Vendor continue drawing, but he's not getting value like we talked about. He needs something more. And this injured Blade Master is doing so much work.
Yeah. Frankly, it's the nature of the cards in this matchup. This is, in my opinion, a very disadvantageous matchup for Shaman. They just don't have the right tools to fight against this sort of thing. If you're trying to pick off minions as you're going along, and then scaling into your late game, but Priest is trying to just create resiliency on its board.
Okay, well, you know, still some really good quality cards in the hand of Amaz. But, I mean, eventually he's going to run out of them. Like, the Fire Elemental can only do so much, especially when Trump has the perfect answers to be able to smack it down. And Doomhammer has now hit a very noticeable wall in the Sludge Belcher. Like, how tantalizing is that? The fact that the 5 health comes first and 2 health is, so even Doomhammer with Rockbiter can't even shoot through Sludge Belcher effectively.
My goodness. Do you even Ragnaros here? Bro, do you even Ragnaros?
Not every day, but some days when you feel really heady. I mean, he would have used Hex a while ago, wouldn't he?
I think so. There's
so
no
I
way
think
you're gonna let
you feel
4/7 Blade
pretty
Master
good
get that
about
much.
it.
Just leave the Harvest Golem up. I'm just gonna keep attacking. This indicates to me he may want to heal instead. Or he's just going to kill it and then play Ragnaros. Okay, so 8 damage to the face. He's ready to get things done. I'm ready to get things done. Amaz down to 16, and he's going to need a pretty big miracle, I think, to climb out of this game. And Flame Tongue Totem is not going to be the start of that. And
nope, not at all whatsoever. And he still has some health to play as a resource. But not for much longer because, I mean, Trump is just going to be able to completely destroy it. I think he's okay with the flip. Sylvanas comes into play, or sorry, into the hand. And honestly, why not into play? He's just so far ahead that I feel like Trump can just continue to press and see what Ragnaros is hit. Any turn that Ragnaros continues to live is actually just bonus. You kind of usually expect him to draw removal and do 8 damage.
I have no time for games.
yeah, it doesn't matter here what Ragnaros hits. Face or the Fire Elemental, he's happy with it. Amaz needs Deathwing right now, but not even Deathwing would save him because he gets Amaz. No, there's no card he can draw.
No, Deathwing actually.
He needs Twisting Nether. That's what he needs.
My shield.
You know, we're not trying to laugh at other players' misery or frustration, but just the fact of how helpless it feels if you're in Maz's position. This Sludge Belcher has been staying away for multiple turns. Ragnaros has stayed for long. I mean, it's just a story of the game where Trump's been able to maximize the mileage that he's able to get so much from every single card. Now, Holy Nova, does that present an ability to clear the board? I think so, because he has Pyromancer in hand. And I think that will do it. This should finish the game. Trump will advance 3-0 over Amaz in the loser's bracket round number 2 as Trump goes to top 4.
Very well played series from Trump, but
Very
again, it's sort of a little bit unfortunate for Amaz. This Shaman matchup is obviously one he wanted to avoid, it being the anchor. And then,